I gotta make a correction, MD. It's not
Hmm.
meet them where they are. It's be better than them. This was Ebony K. Williams' whole point. There's a content creator named Real Talk with Yenny. I want to be a kept woman of leisure, right?
Hmm.
I can provide myself. She's earning six figures off of YouTube. I can provide myself with all the nice things. I need you to come in and provide me with more.
One of the beautiful things about YouTube is that it's a breeding ground for fascinating conversations that have long left traditional media. In what other realm can you get a conversation between a creator with 2.2 thousand subscribers in Mr. Z and one with 611,000 subscribers in FD Signifier, not only having a frank, civil, and open conversation, but having the one with 2.2 thousand subscribers teach the one with 611,000 subscribers a couple of lessons. Only here.
Then yeah, they can be air quotes black excellence, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't agree. I don't disagree with you that there are a ton of petite bourgeois black women who part of their bitterness towards black men is because we can't meet them where they are. When you go to the divestors corner of the internet, that is definitely the essence of what that argument tends to be. But that is also the same thing you catch from black people, from black men.
I gotta make a correction, MD. It's not meet them where they are. It's be better than them.
Women don't like fake flexers. Like, how you gonna take a Brazilian steakhouse type of to a McDonald's? That don't make sense. You dating out of your league.
I have to give great credit to Mr. Z. That's his information there. If you have time, you should take time and listen to the full interview. And I love his content. I suggest you subscribe to his content. But you'll hear the way he pushes back on the modern liberal rhetoric that you'll hear from someone like FD Signifier by explaining a very simple premise in modern day Western dating, something that leads to the rise of the passport bros.
This was Ebony K. Williams' whole point. This is there's a content creator named Real Talk with Yenny. I want to be a kept woman of leisure, right? I can provide myself. She's earning six figures off of YouTube. I can provide myself with all the nice things. I need you to come in and provide me with more. This is what Ebony K. Williams was saying.
The biggest moving target in modern Western dating is being on someone's level. And when you're not on their level anymore, this happens.
Do you have any children?
No, thank God.
Well, and you've been with him since how old?
Since I was 18, but we got married at 20.
All right. And what do you think's waiting for you out here?
New possibilities.
That's one way to frame it.
We can probably be the best of friends. I just think we outgrew each other.
That's fine.
You know?
In modern dating in the West, quote unquote, outgrowing your mate is justification for breaking up your family. We saw it with Tia Mowry.
But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes. I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is, at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness. So
In Tia Mowry's case, it was happiness, but it could be any myriad of reasons why you're not rising to the level that is necessary outside of financial obligation.
If you do not grow with your partner, you will be single. And then when you have that habit of not growing, you know what you do? You find another person. And guess what? That person's gonna outgrow you too. And you have a habit, you have a history of relationships where your partner left you because they surpassed you. Anybody who is truly successful will tell you they need to eliminate the gap. That's just a part of success. So if your partner wants to be successful and that gap is growingly increasing, this is everybody. Women outgrow their men, they leave their men, they file for divorce.
In today's egalitarian society, average men are being told that they have to rise to a level on multiple fronts. And in these cases, you're hearing not just on an economic front, but in terms of emotional support, in terms of making her happy, or all kinds of a myriad of things that if you don't rise to that occasion, they're grounds for divorce. And then there's this age-old problem. A report from the Institute of Family Studies, June 1st, 2023, Husbands with much higher incomes than their wives have a lower chance of divorce. Figure 2 shows that for those married between 1990 and 2018, the chance of divorce by 2021 was higher than it was for couples married from 1960 to 1989. For the more recent marriage cohort, those couples where the wife's income was greater than the husband's had an 8.4% chance of divorce by 2021. Couples where the husband's income was $38,000 or less more per year than the wife's had a 4.8% chance of divorce by 2021. And for couples where the husband's income was more than $38,000 per year than the wife's had a 2.9% chance of divorce by 2021. Thus, men whose income were more than $38,000 per year greater than their spouse's income were least likely to be divorced by 2021, and they were significantly less likely to be divorced than men in couples where the wife's income was higher.
And it's like, again, it's like you're both growing. So for him to be even able to see your growth, phenomenal, love it, amazing. Yeah. But we probably needed to go on our own ways to actually get whole and good and feel healthy within ourselves. And maybe that's just not the right fit. But at the time it was. Yeah. And so we can appreciate each other's growth, but we're not going to grow together.
Yeah. we grew together. And that's a beautiful thing. I always want the best for people. Like, even if we're not together.
You cannot get from your past which you now know you want and need from your present. And you'll face this reality in your relationship if and when you invest in your personal and relational evolution, but your partner doesn't invest in theirs. Because you'll grow, but what the relationship has to offer you won't grow with you.
You don't have to look very long on social media to see how tenuous it is to maintain the emotional stability, the excitement, or the happiness levels in a relationship. And this is on top of the data that suggests that if your female mate gets a raise, there's going to be a substantial chance that that will contribute to a divorce. And then you have this on top of all of that.
You know what's sad about your statement? Only women is afforded the privilege of outgrowing their marriage. Only women, because if a man was to leave his wife and his excuse was he outgrown the marriage, he would definitely be frowned upon, he would be demonized, and he would be accused of abandoning his family.
What I found interesting about the conversation between Mr. Z and FD Signifier was that unwittingly, FD Signifier himself made the best argument in favor of passport bros.
But what we're still talking about is a white gender paradigm, is what I'm saying. Just like I think the average man doesn't want to come in and be like, if we're talking about the same paradigm that black women have, come in and make me a woman of leisure. The average black man that's petite bourgeois and involved in certain politics and ideologies doesn't want to come in and be equal. He wants to come in and be the patriarch of his space.
This is a very fascinating conversation that broached a variety of topics, but to hear someone as liberal as FD Signifier admit that most men want to be the patriarch of their space, that is something that resonates with passport bros. When you hear a lot of the talking points around social media say, well, I wasn't stimulated, or I wasn't happy, or I was in a place where he wasn't growing with me inside of the relationship. All things that are not tangible, but grounds for a divorce. And then on top of that, we see the stats of what happens if a woman gets to a point where she's making more than the man, there is an accelerated opportunity for her to divorce you. Many men are looking at the landscape and saying, it's a very difficult place to win. And so for some guys that are looking at that landscape and saying, well, maybe it's just better if I go somewhere where I can ensure that I will be not only the patriarch, but be in a position where I make more. It's only better for a more stable relationship and a stable family. It's kind of a no-brainer. And that's one reason why a lot of guys are getting on planes and saying, my family's going to start somewhere overseas. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.